Hello everyone, welcome back to my F1 career mode here on F1 2010. This time we're in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. Now I'm going to change it to be a short race weekend, and I'm going to leave the difficult settings as they are for now. I'm just wondering whether to bump up that traction control or not, but I'm still going to at least attempt to get used to this medium one, and if not, then I'll have to bump it up a little bit. So here we are in practice, doing some R&D, and the first thing I did was go wide. Amazing start, just like in Bahrain. Gone wide at basically in the Sector 1. It's just great news. But I kept going, and still the traction control kept bugging me. That was a nice save though, a nice drift through the final corner. And yeah, I completed the R&D, and my first decent lap I got in was a 1:33.7. Just behind my teammate. Going on to lap 3, and I've gone wide again. That corner, I can't get used to it at all. And now I've gone wide and spun. Lost my front wing. That's just amazing. Still trying to get used to this traction control. I'm just not used to it just yet. But got another decent lap in finally. It was a 1:32.1, which is 9th place and acceptable. Now, before I go into qualifying, I'm just going to tweak my setup a little bit here. My setup was essentially the same as what it was in Bahrain. A few little changes, but nothing really to shout about. Let's just save that and have a look at where I end up. 9th place. Okay. Yeah, I can live with that, 9th place. We'll just have to see how we go in qualifying, which I totally forgot is actually one-shot qualifying, but never mind. So we got an interview to do here. Crofty again. You keep asking me this, Crofty. Yeah, beat the other teams around us for now. I seem to be coping with it, but yeah, pretty much as you'd expect, really. It gets faster as you get less fuel. There's not really any other way about this. So let's go to qualifying. As I just said, I forgot that in qualifying, it's not one shot essentially, but you've only got one session, and I sort of forgot this. And sort of just, again, I thought it was going to be a Q1, Q2, Q3 scenario. I completely forgot that it wasn't. You only get one session on this game if it's a short race weekend. But let's see how I did in that one session. See, I just left it right to the end, the last 5 minutes. So I really took a risk here, unintentionally. But coming onto the lap, oh, nearly lost it. Did some weaving and I managed to save it. That wasn't just me weaving, I very nearly lost the back end. But here we go, coming to the end of the lap, I do a 1:31.474, which is 10th place. And I thought, oh yeah, that should get me nicely into Q2. And I just forgot that's qualifying as it is. So, to be fair, at the end of the day, I've qualified in 10th place, which I'm actually perfectly happy with, in retrospect. So, you'll be starting in 10th on the grid tomorrow. Yeah, I'll take 10th. Mark Webber getting pole in his home race. Vettel in second. So it's the Red Bulls followed by the McLarens. Massa, Alonso, I think that must have had a bad qualifying because I didn't see him on there.
You're doing so well. You're above your expected qualifying position.
Woo. Yeah, I'm going to put the traction control up to full, though, because I know it's sort of cheating in a way, but I just kept spinning out, and especially going into these conditions, intermediate. I want to give you guys good racing, and at the end of the day, medium traction control on intermediates, I would have been spinning out at every corner. So I'm going to put the traction control up to full. Well, I don't think there's anything else really to do now. Then go to the race.
We finished near the back of the field in the last race. We need to try to do better here. Get out there and show the boss what you're made of. Good luck.
Right then, off we go. Starting the race. It's been it's been a decent start, to be fair. I sort of kept up with the leaders. Suttel is coming around my outside now. I'm going to be careful going into this first corner, especially in these conditions. I've lost a place to Adrian Suttel, so that's a bad start. overall. And I've got Robert Kubica who might try and go around my outside, but no, backs out of it for whatever reason. Coming into this corner now, I'm going to dive bomb a couple of people. Can I get past Schumacher around the outside going into the next corner? Can I? Schumacher's held the place up the inside. That's actually very good driving from Michael Schumacher. But then he's just decided to brake on me through the next corner. Suttil going horrendously slow through the corner. And I've just gained 2 places and gone back up into P9. So now I've gained a place off my starting grid position. And next up is Felipe Massa. And coming into the fast left-right chicane here. I'm all over the back of him. I've sort of hit his rear end. And now I'm going to try and out-drag him going into the next corner. But he's in a Ferrari, so that's going to be very tough. I can't see absolutely anything due to the spray caused by his car. But I've gone up his inside, and he's held it round the outside. That is an amazing defensive move from Felipe Massa there. You don't see that on the modern F1 games. But I'm going to switch over back to the inside, go up the inside, block him off on the apex. And I've gained a position up into P8 now. And that's, it's been sort of an okay-ish first lap. Would have liked to gain a couple more places, but never mind. So that's lap 1 over and done with. And next up, we've got to overtake Vitantonio Liuzzi. Going into the second sector here. Might be able to go up his inside, and maybe Jenson Buttons as well. Button held it around the outside, like the others did, though. But never mind, I still got past Liuzzi. So coming up to the final corner of lap 2 now, I'm going to go up the inside of Jenson Button, just like I did Felipe Massa. Button tries to hold it around the outside, but once I sort of push him a bit out wide, perfectly legally, and I'm up into P6 now. Good race so far. Now, Rosberg is going very slowly into P5. Maybe I should turn up the difficulty level, because at the moment I'm walking through this field, and just as I say that, I go wide and Rosberg gets the place back. So, still in P6, going to the fast... I don't know what Rosberg was doing there. He went horrendously, very, very slowly into that chicane there. And I've gone past him, no problems at all. So Fernando Alonso in his Ferrari is up next. He must have been further up the grid than I realised because I didn't see him. But if he's up in P4 now, it must have just been my eyes missing him. So anyway, I'm going to try and go around the outside, but he's blocked me off well. I've had to lift off. Can I go around his outside into the next corner? I can. Can I keep it on the track? Just about. It's a good move, and I'm around the outside into P4. Who's up next? I believe it's one of the McLarens, probably Lewis Hamilton. No, it's Sebastian Vettel up next. And I've completely forgotten to brake for that corner. Gone off into the gravel trap. Alonso's got his place back. Rosberg's got on his place back. Will Jensen get his place back as well? Yeah, Button goes around my outside and overtakes me as well. So I'm all the way back down into P7 after that stupid mistake that I just made into that corner. And so am I going to try and get these places back? I've cut the corner slightly. And I've overtaken Button. Yeah, whatever. And now I've got Nico Rosberg a little bit ahead of me. So I'm going to have to try and overtake him soon enough. And there's a few people in the pits here. And I'm going to overtake them all. And now I'm up into position 1. All the leaders have pitted on this lap. And I've gained the lead. So now I'm really going to have to push and do a fantastic 1 or 2 laps, depending on when I come in. My tyres have gone orange now, so I'm going to come in at the end of lap 9. So I did 2 laps before anyone, and already I'm back down as P2. Mark Webber has overtaken me. He was so speedy after he came out the pits. It's ridiculous. Lewis Hamilton overtakes me to P2, and I'm going to get on a new set of Inters. What's the stop like? 5.2. Was that really an average stop in 2010? Now the problem is, I've dropped positions down into P4, P5 now. And do you really want to know what happened in the rest of the race? From P5, after just coming out the pits, to lap 17, nothing happened. Button was starting to catch me towards the end of the race, but honestly, nothing happened. That's it, end of the race. The post-pit stop stint was awful. Absolutely nothing happened. So there you go. 5th place in the Aussie Grand Prix.
Result, mate. That's our first points on the board.
My engineer seems fairly happy about it, 36 seconds behind the leaders, but I have a confession to make. That race was my 2nd attempt, not my 1st, so I've been a bit dishonest with my result here. My 1st attempt was... Well, I'm going to show you the highlights of it, but the fact was, it was just like the Bahrain Grand Prix. I ended up in no man's land by the time, because I quit it. I have to admit I quit it because I ended up in no man's land and I wanted to give you guys some good racing, because I did this other attempt on medium traction control. I was spinning out everywhere. But I'm just going to give you the highlights anyway. And for the interest of fairness, for the rest of the championship, I'm actually going to give myself 0 points from this Aussie Grand Prix, because that's the amount of points I actually got. So, in the end, I'm going to give myself 0 points, because my first attempt should always be the real attempt. But I just wanted to give you a good race, which I sort of gave you half a good race. And for the remainder of the video, here's my first attempt at the Australian Grand Prix. And I'll see you for my next video next time. Please subscribe if it's your first video. I promise I won't do any of this dishonesty again. And yeah, see you next time. To get your bearings on the track if you need to. There's some gravel on your tyres. Be aware your tyres will have less grip until it's above our expected result. Keep it up. See, when you overtake, if you take someone off, you'll be penalised. Hamilton's given it some. He's just posted the fastest lap of the race. Lost your front wing. You can nurse the car back to the pits. We'll fit a replacement.